Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nerdcast. It is Devin, broadcasting as always live from an undisclosed location in the center of Texas on a relatively chill Tuesday evening. How's everybody doing out there? Suki heard me talking, so of course she comes running in here to see what's happening. What's going on, Suki? How are you doing? Hope everybody's having a good evening out there. Hey, Nocti, welcome back to the stream. I hope your evening is going a little bit better than earlier. Oh, man. I'm exhausted. Well, actually, I feel a little better now, to be honest. Let me go ahead and put on the chill track. I was exhausted earlier, but after I'm switching up my diet. I am, Suki. I know you don't believe me, but I am. Switching up my diet a bit, I ate a relatively light dinner, and then for whatever reason just passed out right after. Like I went up to my bed to hang out with the ladies for a bit, and just like zonked completely. I think, and this is just a theory I have based on nothing, but falling asleep next to a pet will always, or just lying down next to a pet will always make you like 5 times sleepier than you would be if you just lie down by yourself. Like, I can't tell you the number of times that like I've had a pet dog or something, or has been at a friend's house with their pets, and like, you know, I just lie on the floor with them and they just plop over, and then next thing you know, me and the dog are just sleeping on the floor. And whenever I'm lying in bed with the cats, as soon as one jumps up and plops next to me, we're both out. We're both out cold. And Suki is back in her bed. I don't know where Galbi is. So yeah, I don't know why, but I was just kind of wiped. Had like a little bit of a nap for about maybe an hour. So I feel okay now. Usually, I guess maybe it's a function of me just not getting enough sleep normally. I have my insomniac sleep schedule, I suppose. Eventually it catches up. God, I hate how this thing just... I can't touch my desk at all, because as soon as I tap my desk even a little... See, that was just the slightest little... I've got to secure this camera a little better, I guess. Hey, Gabriella, how you doing? Welcome back to the stream. I hope your day is treating you well. Whew, yeah. So anyway... I was always interested in the One Piece game. I didn't think I was gonna grab it because it was pretty expensive, but it's on sale on Steam right now, 40% off. So I was like, you know what? This strikes me as the kind of game that's just gonna sit at that $60 price tag for quite some time. Who knows how often it'll end up on sale, but I may as well just take advantage of it this time and check it out. So I got it. And the last stream that I did, which a friend of mine is actually currently editing, so that I can upload it to YouTube as a separate video. I talked at length about One Piece. Hey, how's it going? Yo, what's up, Haunted Wisp? Welcome back to the stream. How are you doing? I hope your Tuesday evening is treating you well. Yeah, last stream I talked at length about One Piece. Both the anime, kind of broadly. I tapped it, I just watched it move again. I talked about the anime broadly, and I also did a sort of reaction and breakdown-ish of the Netflix live action. So I guess and I've been thinking about it since, and I'm curious about how this edited video is going to come out. But once I realized that they actually have a jrpg of One Piece called One Piece Odyssey, I started watching videos and trailers for it, and it seems like... I don't know if any of you are familiar with Dragon Ball Z, or if you are familiar with Dragon Ball Z, the game Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. During the teeth of the pandemic in 2020, one of the games that I sunk myself into to sort of pass time was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And it was a lot of fun. I had a whole lot of fun with that game. It was basically just a retelling of the Dragon Ball Z anime saga, from the arrival of Raditz all the way up to the, I think, does it go through the Buu saga? I think it goes through the Buu saga. But it just tells the whole Dragon Ball Z story. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun to play, too. And it looks like One Piece, even though One Piece as a series isn't complete yet, it's still ongoing. It looks like this game does the same. It looks like it's also just a retelling of like the sagas from the anime, which made me think, would it be better for, like, if somebody was interested in One Piece but was always off-put by the idea of watching 1,080 episodes of some shit, or 1,080 and counting, or however many it is and counting, you know, that's too big of an ask for somebody, like, to, hey, just sit down and watch 1,000,000 hours of this cartoon. But if someone was interested in it and wanted to get the story and experience the characters and the world, would playing this game be a good alternative? Because I would say that about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Like, if you didn't want to go back and actually watch Dragon Ball Z, but you just wanted to get the story and the feel of the world and the vibe of the characters and whatnot, and you wanted to, you know, have fun playing a game doing it, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot would actually be awesome, an awesome alternative for that. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It got the story perfectly. It got the vibe perfectly. So perfectly that it gave me a ton of nostalgia. I was living in Japan during the original run of Dragon Ball Z. So when new episodes of DBZ were released, I would watch them every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. on one of the Japanese channels. And, you know, everybody that I went to school with was super into Dragon Ball. We had no idea what the story was because, you know, we were Americans. We didn't speak the language. But we didn't need to speak the language. We just saw a bunch of really badass, muscly dudes beating the shit out of each other in an ultra-violent cartoon. That was everything we needed. So, like, we were all into it. We would go off base and buy the trading cards, like the glittery trading cards, and we draw on the margins of our notebooks Goku or the cyborgs or, you know, whatever else, because the cyborg saga is what was going on at that time, or at least at the time when we first started really getting into it. Yeah, and you know, so I have a lot of nostalgia around that particular show. And when I started watching, okay. I was just reminded that I need to edit my tags. So let me see if I could add some new tags in here. When I was playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, it hit all of those nostalgic vibes for me, and it resonated in a big way just for that alone. Let's see. No, that's not what I want to use. Interesting. There we go. For some reason, their search tool wasn't working quite right. I'm gonna try. How many is this? All right, I guess I'm at my 10 tag limit. All right, there. I have tags. Okay. Let me make sure I get these in here. What? One? No. Why'd it do that? That's weird. Twitter is so busted. It is so fucking broken. Or maybe X. X is so broken. I guess that's what we're calling it now. It's the fucking dumbest thing in the world. Jesus, work already. God, this is so fucking busted. Yeah, this whole brand changing from Twitter to this whole brand changing from Twitter to X is really the dumbest and sloppiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's still not fully branded. Like, all he did was swap out the bird for the X. The thing still says tweet and it's blue. Like, my app still refers to everything as a tweet. Like, it's still, I mean, and the bird isn't even completely removed from all of the pages. Like, it's not a real rebranding. It's just like, it feels like a sloppy hacker, you know. God, why does my camera, like, it's like its hinges are oiled up with WD-40 or something. It's just sliding around all over the place. It just feels like a shitty, sloppy hacker, you know, broke into the source code of the deployed web page and swapped out a couple of images, and that's about it. And that's what constitutes the rebrand. And it's a dumb idea to begin with, because like the Twitter brand itself has a shit ton of value as a recognizable and to a certain degree trusted brand. And moving away from that to something incredibly vague and somewhat pornographic sounding is ridiculously dumb. Hello, it is me, and I love how Elon is calling Twitter X despite the fact Facebook owns the right. That's another thing. Despite the fact Facebook owns the rights to X as a social media brand, and Microsoft owns the rights to X as a financial thing, and the website address X is a male phone sex site. Yo, what's up, Toaster? Welcome back to the stream, and you're absolutely right about all of that. Like, he is determined to use the X brand because I guess that was the branding that he's been, you know, wedded to from back in the early PayPal days. He wanted to change PayPal into X, and they wouldn't let him. I don't know what his obsession is, because it's in all of his other shit too, like SpaceX and the Model X and all of that sort of stuff. Like, I don't understand what his fascination with the letter X is. It's even like I think it's even a part of his kid's weird name. I would like to see let me see if there might be like a quick little video that may shed some light on Oh yeah, Legal Eagle had a good video. Elon sues the lawyers that forced him to buy Twitter, but like the lawsuit against those lawyers that forced him to buy Twitter is fucking stupid as shit. His kid's name with Graves. I think you mean Grimes. I like her name as Graves a little bit more. Maybe I'll start referring to her as Graves. But yeah, like I forget what that even means. The name, it's something weird. Let me see. Move that over here. All of my favorite people are live tonight. I can only have 3 tabs. Lol. My phone changed it. Oh, your phone changed the icon? Mine didn't. I think mine's still. Yeah, mine's still the bird. That's interesting.
All right, we got a fun segment coming up here. Elon Musk is leading yet another change at Twitter. This time, he ditched the platform's iconic blue bird logo. You've heard about it, I'm sure, by now. For a more serious X. It's a first step in a full rebrand for the company. For more on this, Caroline Hyde joins me on set. She is an anchor for Bloomberg Technology. Caroline, welcome.
Great to be here.
Let's dive right in. Why do this? Why do this, and why the X?
The obsession with X actually goes way back because, we've heard about XAI of late. Of course, there's Tesla X, SpaceX, his own son called X. But it goes back to the 1990s. That was when he had his first big tech success. He actually started a company, X.com, a banking company, online banking company, that eventually merged to become PayPal. Now, they got rid of the X.com name, but he pulled it out, that domain, in 2017, and always felt that it was going to be more than a financial services kind of brand. And he started to talk back when he first discussed buying Twitter about this everything app called X. And this is more akin to what you see in China. If your viewers know WeChat, for example, this is about not just sending messages and...
Oh yeah, he also tried to replace the Twitter sign on their building and like got blocked by the city and his own landlords from doing it because like it was not properly handled, it was unsafe, and like he can't even change a sign at his building properly. And this dude thinks he's gonna build an everything app that people are actually gonna feel okay about using.
And notes and photos and videos, but it's about doing payments on that app. It's about ordering your Uber, your Lyft, your food. It's about remaining within a super app, basically.
And we sort of saw this with Meta changing, from Facebook. But this is still very new because these are brands that have been with us now for a good 10, 15 years. And to change it like that while all these other changes are happening, I think people are asking, what's next?
Yeah.
So what did Elon tell you? What's he doing next?
Well, what Elon is telling using his own platform on Twitter is kind of saying, look, this is a step in the direction of my vision. But ultimately what Linda Yaccarino, the CEO that he's brought on at now X, has got to do is restore our trust, because they've just, like that, overnight decided to get rid of a 17-year-old brand that is globally known, that we have verbs made up.
That's the thing, like, yeah, it's been around for 17 years, and it's so ubiquitous with online social media that it's been verbified. So you would think that even if you wanted to rebrand it, you would do it in a way that would seem more legitimate than it is now. Like, again, it feels like it's a half-ass rollout. Like, they haven't found a way to replace the word tweet. So the button to actually tweet something still says tweet. It doesn't say X or anything. Like, there are still birds on various parts of the website. Like, the app, I guess it updated some people's apps, but it didn't update mine. So I still have Twitter and not X or whatever. And they tried to equate it to Facebook rebranding as Meta, but the thing is, Facebook basically created Meta as a sort of container company with which Facebook, Instagram, and all their other things live under. So the services themselves is still called Facebook. The service never changed to Meta. The company that runs Facebook just called themselves Meta. And Elon Musk could have done that if he wanted to. Like, he could have created the company X, which houses Twitter and Tesla and SpaceX and the Boring Company and all that other stuff. He could have made a parent company just called X and have that be the thing. But no, for whatever weird reason, he's decided to make Twitter X, and even in that, only in a half-assed manner, and destroying the entire value of that brand. Like, the brand had a hell of a lot of value globally. And a funny little side story I heard is that, like, in Japan, so he can't, like, he's gonna have to find a way to specifically label the service as X in Japan without calling it X Japan, because X Japan is one of the most famous bands in the world from Japan, and they own that. They own that there, so he can't call it X Japan. It's the one decent thing Yoshiki has done as a human being. The drummer slash, I guess, owner of the X Japan brand, and generally a douchebag. Although a friend of mine did makeup for him during South by Southwest when he was in town promoting that X Japan documentary, and she said he was actually a really lovely person, so who knows, maybe my information's wrong. Regardless, Twitter is very, very big in Japan, so he's going to have to find a way to... And they don't like how fucking weird he's been since he purchased it. He's going to have to find a way to make it work. And not just in Japan, but globally. Like, this whole rebrand, if he wanted to do it, and it's his prerogative to do it, it's his company, obviously. Like, if he wanted to rebrand, he can. But why do it in such a sloppy, ham-fisted, half-assed manner just to use something that's just going to make your site sound like a porn site? Like, there are all sorts of jokes now about how the bird in your browser tab has been replaced by an X, and it just makes it look like you have an a porn site tab open whenever you have Twitter open now. And they used to call they used to call the videos on Twitter videos, but now they'll call them X videos, which is obviously, anybody who was even a quarter of a degenerate on the internet knows what X videos actually is. So it's just all sorts of, it's just a minefield of avoidable nonsense, and there's no foreseeable value in doing it. Like, I don't see what the obvious get is in doing all of this. Like, what's your get? He could have made like this global anything app using the Twitter brand, because Twitter already had a value. Like, the value was plummeting because of his remarkable mismanagement of the company, but had he, found a way to actually let go of complete control of the company and let this Linda Yaccarino, whoever, run it as a CEO. I don't know if she's qualified for that, but hey, you hired her to be the CEO, so take your hands off the wheel, let her run it as a CEO. Maybe you can reestablish some brand trust again. Maybe you can actually get to a position where you can hire some people again and build out the anything app. And that's another thing, but build out the anything app that you want to posit using the brand trust that people have in Twitter. People trust Twitter to do things already. Like, I don't know if they'll trust X in that same capacity, just because they don't have the connection in their brain. Their brain's not wired that way. They don't have 17 years of using X. They have 17 years of using Twitter. And any connotation of, like, any kind of association of X that they have in their brain as far as trust is concerned comes from seedy websites that puts malware on their computers and, insist upon their visiting that they've contracted a virus of some sort, or makes it difficult for them to close out 7 browser windows that open up on their own. That's people's association with X as far as trust is concerned. I don't know if they're going to want to do their banking with that.
out of it, to tweet, to retweet. That's
And also, speaking to that other point that I kind of glossed over, how was he going to build this everything app when he fired literally everyone in the company? Like, he's running this company off a skeleton crew right now. They barely have the means to keep Twitter running. Like, Twitter's a mess. I just had a bitch of a time putting hashtags on my tweet just now because it kept glitching out on me. And that's like the least of its problems. So like he can't even maintain the app as it is, let alone build it out to be this global town square. Like, obviously Elon Musk has a history of radically overpromising and wildly underdelivering. And part of that is by design. Like, a lot of people seem to think that he is like, and maybe their perception is changing after these past few months, but a lot of people seem to think that he's some kind of brilliant innovator, or that he made his money or built his brand off of being like a tech genius. But you know, like a Henry Ford. But he's not Henry Ford. Like that's not what his assets are. That's not what his power is. He's very much like Donald Trump, and he is like Trump in the sense that his brand value is his name. And whereas Trump's brand value that he attributes to his name is luxury and opulence. You want Trump because that means it's the most opulent, it's the best. You know, you stay at Trump Tower, you go to a Trump hotel, you drink Trump water, etc., etc. Like, years of lifestyles of the rich and famous living in the 80s and 90s in New York, in the New York socialite circle, has built a brand around Donald Trump that exudes, to a certain demographic, luxury. And Elon Musk is the same way, only instead of luxury, it's tech innovation. Doesn't matter if he's actually ever done any of it himself. He's just managed to market himself as the person that does it. And a part of that is the fact that he makes such boisterous claims about, 11 years ago, he said that he'd put a man on Mars in 10 years. He had all these big promises about the Hyperloop and what the Hyperloop was going to mean and bring to transportation, city transportation, even though he has since come out and said that was just an effort to stymie California's goal of building mass train transit, because he's a son of a bitch. And his ability to make those kinds of wild sells, because of the credibility that he's built up for himself as an early investor in Tesla. And that's all he was. He did not found Tesla. He was not, the creator of the Tesla vehicles or cars. All he did was take his PayPal money after he was ousted from PayPal, use it to invest in Tesla, and then he sued the people who actually founded Tesla so that he could say that he was also a co-founder of Tesla when he wasn't. That's all he did. And then all the other smart people actually built the Teslas out. So what he did, though, but he was the public face. He was the golden child that innovated in the electric car space. And as a result of that, it gave him a lot of credibility to where when he says, we're going to do X, Y, or Z, put a man on Mars or build a Hyperloop or, have power walls in every house or whatever other stupid thing he said, people believe it. And it drives up stock value in the companies that he actually runs. And that's the real value that he has. You could say that's market manipulation. The reason why he gets away with it without having it be the crime of market manipulation is because he's not specifically addressing shareholders, when he makes those claims. He's just speaking broadly out to the public. So he can make these proclamations to the general public, and all of his fanboys get super juiced up over it. And, the shareholders and people, prospective investors see that. They want to jump on board because they think that he's a guy that delivers. So he's built his wealth up being a carnival barker, basically. It's the only value he has. He's basically just a carnival barker. And now he's tearing all that value down, and he's started to make these promises again. Now X will go further, transforming the global town square, but he is in serious put up or shut up mode because he's basically pantsed himself on the global stage. Everybody knows this guy's a fucking idiot now. Everybody knows that he can't really deliver on anything that he promises, outside of, And honestly, the Tesla cars, I like Tesla in general. outside of Elon Musk because I'm a fan of electric cars, always have been. I'm a car person. I remember when those things started rolling out, I was super hype about them. Before I even knew who Elon Musk was, and the innovation of the electric car that Tesla made had nothing really to do with the actual tech of the car themselves, because electric cars existed prior to Tesla. Plenty of electric cars existed prior to Tesla. The innovation that the Tesla brand brought to the electric car is they just made them look like Honda Civics. And as banal as that description is, considering how vanilla and cookie cutter Honda Civics generally are as a car, it sounds more like an insult than anything else to say that the innovation that Tesla brought to the car industry is making an electric car look like a Civic. The honest fact of the matter is that's all they ever needed to be, and that's the one thing they were never made to be prior to. Every time you would see an electric car that Toyota or Honda or any other company would put out, they would look ugly as fuck. The ugliest fucking cars you'd ever seen. And no one would ever want one. Conspiracy theory on my end, I feel like that was by design. I feel like there was a desire to communicate to the general public that was sick of gas-guzzling cars and were anxious about global warming / climate change. Global warming at the time, eventually rebranded as climate change, but anxious about that and upset about gas-guzzling SUVs and whatnot during the Iraq War and all that. They wanted to placate an angry mass of their consumers. But on the other side, they had the oil industry, fossil fuel industry that was like, you better not put electric cars out there that people are going to want. We don't want that. Do what you need to do to quiet the plebeians. But at the end of the day, combustion engine moves our nation. And that's not going to change. So all of those companies were like, yeah, we're making electric cars. Sure, check out the Insight and blah, blah, blah. And they put them out and they're ugly as fuck and nobody wanted to get caught dead driving them. And as a result of that, they just didn't sell very well. And people thought electric cars were a goon's game. And the innovation of Tesla is they made an electric car that just looked like a regular ass car. And then people are like, oh, that's cool. That's great. That's just like a car. Yeah, it's like the car that I've been driving for 40 years, except it's electric. That was the only innovation. And the innovation, I guess, if you wanted to really look at it, is just the disrupt of the fossil fuel industry's grip on the automotive industry, which isn't to be understated. I think that what Tesla did in that regard is fundamentally brave and bold fight that they took on, a necessary one, and it shouldn't be understated. And I'll give Tesla and Elon Musk credit for taking on that fight. Like, it's a worthy fight. And it's led to, I think, good things. Not as quickly as I would like, but, that's largely beyond their control. But it led to good things. Like, that's the innovation of Tesla, though. But it's not the kind of innovation that's like building a global town square or putting a man on Mars in 10 years or any of the other crazy, insane, lofty things that he's promised. It's not that big of an innovation. It's basically just saying shut the fuck up to oil companies, which is what we should have been saying to begin with. Build a car that looks like a car that's electric. That's it. That's Tesla's bread and butter. All right, extended rant there. Let me catch up on my chats here. Sorry about that. I got a little hot. Oak City Gamers, yo, what's up, man? Welcome back to the stream. Elon is like every businessman. He won't pay anyone enough to make actual wealth. It's the insane old story. The reason the middle class is a thing. Middle class became a thing because fat cats wouldn't pay anyone in their company enough to make actual wealth. Yes and no. The middle class actually became there's a multitude of reasons why the middle class became a thing, not the least of which being the labor revolution. But in large part, also, in a contributing factor alongside the labor revolution is, a lot of capitalists realized that they needed their employees to make enough money to buy their products. It's a sensible realization. McDonald's needs people who can afford to eat at McDonald's. If no one's making enough money to afford to eat at McDonald's, then no one's going to eat at McDonald's. This is kind of the trap that they've set for themselves in the Reagan era, when wages started to stagnate, and they thought that they could pass off wage increases onto credit card companies. They just told everyone to get a credit card to supplement their slagging wages, which they did for a while. But now everyone's in credit card debt, and nobody wants to take up new lines of credit, or they take up new lines of credit and then refuse to pay them back. And that's the trickle to a gutter of people who have disappeared, and they call the poor gutter people. And I recognize where I come from. My dad was up from the dirt. I'm the same. My brother, more clinical. Two outcomes, the same reason. Look, man, life is super weird. When I don't like food, I sprinkle a delicate mix of elemental poisons called table salt on it. Well, I'm for betterment, but I can't help make that real. I mean, don't ever sell table salt short. None of us have access to change the world. I don't agree with that, but it's a collective. It's collective. We can't change it individually, but we can in a collective sense. Let's accept that Elon Musk types look at us like we are ants. That's very true. The farm makes them money. Like woke movies, the corporations just want to get money. Yeah, and it's funny how many movies actually have been taking on more of like a how many movies take on more of like a leftist or socialist kind of bent, more and more nowadays, considering the rapid consolidation of the film and entertainment industry. It's kind of like that Black Mirror episode about AI. It's a Black Mirror episode that just came out. That's a really strong critique of using AI in an unethical capitalist manner, put out by the same company that's actively trying to use AI to crush its own workforce. You know, it's like this idea that we can put out the content that panders to people's sensibilities, but when it comes to enacting those policies ourselves, we want no part of it. Also, inclusion isn't a zero-sum game. It makes it better for everyone to have access, like a ramp at a business. It's good for anyone who has wheels, wheelchairs, and strollers. Completely agree. New Deal, yeah, we're in the midst of a new labor revolution. It seems like we're at the very beginning of it, at least. That Teamsters deal that came out today was a pretty big deal. When is Rot coming out? I do not know, and I'm not sure what Rot is. I was at McDonald's at lunch. They aren't doing well. Just a line of addicts in the drive-thru. Black Mirror is the Twilight Zone of the day. I think it's good. Also, one with Anthony Mackie. I agree with you completely. Let me go over to Twitch. The dude didn't even, from Maniacal Toaster, the dude didn't even bother getting permission to have the equipment put there. He ain't gonna find a way to make anything work. No, he's a goon. He's a goon who doesn't really know. I don't know how much. This kind of illustrates to me that he, in all of his years at Tesla, he probably really didn't do anything administrative or managerial, because he seems to have like a child's understanding of how a businessman makes business deals, or how a businessman gets things done. Like, he can snap his fingers and say, I want that machine there, and then that just happens. And like, you don't have to go through a process of getting permits or anything like that. Like, he seems to operate like a child. You know, so I'm getting more and more the sense that he probably didn't do anything, real up until he was forced to here at Twitter. He could have just thrown his money at science people who know what they're doing and just sit back and be known as the guy who financed us into a golden age of science. But no, he had to be in charge of everything he knows nothing about and couldn't just accept his place. Yes, that's true. And I think what speaks to that incredible sense of ego more than anything else is the fact that he has decided to rebrand one of the biggest brands of global recognition to something asinine and bland, even, and vaguely pornographic, for no reason other than the fact that he just wants to do it. Like, he doesn't want, like Twitter isn't, even though he bought it for $40 billion, Twitter isn't his. Twitter is Jack Dorsey's, and he just bought it from him. And he doesn't want Jack Dorsey's thing. He wants it to be his. So it doesn't matter how much the brand is worth. It's not his. And he needs to make it his. Elon is a child. He literally said he wanted to make real life cat girls. What? I mean, he strikes me as the dude who would say something like that unironically. He's a child with too much time on his hands and money in his pocket. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that he could just... If there wasn't a way for incredibly rich people to just do whatever the hell they want with their money, I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't care about him having all this money and all this time on his hands. But unfortunately, in the world that we've crafted for ourselves, if you have a lot of money, you can do whatever you want. Like, the world is your oyster. Like, other people's lives and livelihoods are your plaything. Like, the good of society is your plaything. If you don't want... Like, if the voters in California want a series of bullet trains connecting their cities together so that they can live and work in more interconnectivity within the state and not be so siloed within their regions because transportation makes it a pain to get around. If they vote in favor of that and you don't like it, oh, you've got money, then skirt it. That's your plan to skirt. It doesn't matter if the voters want it or not. Like, that's the hell world that we live in. If Elon Musk didn't have, or any other billionaire for that matter, didn't have the power to do that, then I largely wouldn't give a shit about him. If I had half the money Elon had, I would just violently throw money at every group actually doing stuff that I could. Or better yet, I just throw bags full of $10,000 cash at random homeless people. Boom, that'd do more than Elon has his entire life. I mean, I've thought a lot about this. Like, yes, that's basically true, but if I had the kind of money he would have, I would spend it propagandizing the entire country, just propagandizing the living shit about him, about how people like me need to be taxed more, because there is no amount of throwing $10,000 bills at homeless people that's going to actually address the root cause of homelessness. Like, you could use that money to systemically change the faults of our society that lead to all these homeless people. We can't do that right now because money is not being... The money that's being spent in propaganda is being used to tell people that, like, Barbie is woke. Or it's being used to tell them that, inflation is not that big of a deal, or it's going down and everything's great again, despite the fact that the cost of living is skyrocketing everywhere. Like, the money that's being used to communicate to people in a manner which would allow them to actually address the issues that we need to address in a systemic manner, it's not being used in that regard because people like Elon Musk control that money and they use it to do shit like this. So, yeah, throw $10,000 at homeless people, but I would become a fucking propaganda machine. You would be sick. You would be sick to your stomach of all the commercials and advertising that I'd be running on television, radio, internet, mailers, flyers, posters, billboards. I would have that shit ocean to ocean, coast to coast, 24/7, like, and not like annoying shit. I'm sure some of it would be, but just neat ways of drilling the point home so that people can move out of this weird 1980s mindset that we're still stuck in. Especially when you hear these testimonies about people that formerly worked directly under him, how he treats people. I also heard that after the whole thing, now he's forcing NDAs. Oh yeah, he's been absolutely terrible. And the people that he's had running his operations under him have been equally terrible. Tesla in California was sued for rampant racism. Like, they would call whole sections where black employees worked the plantation. Their rampant usage of the N-word, slurs written on bathroom stalls and shit. They got sued and judges forced them to pay a lot of money. Like, it's just the environment that he cultivates. It's not a surprise that Twitter ended up turning into Twitter is basically 4chan right now. And it's not a surprise that Twitter turned into 4chan considering what his companies operate like. And by the way, do you really want to do your banking at 4chan? Would you trust 4chan with your bank account? That's a good point. It would be better to try to get rich people actually taxed. For certain. Dev's camera is haunted. Oh man, it's me slamming my... I'm gonna find a way to really keep my camera in place. Because every time I tap the board, like I hit my hand on the mouse and shit, and it just floats on over. I bought an old stainless tape deck, not tested. I ran the looks on it. $50 piece for $7. I'll use it doing music on my personal channel. Nice. Good find. I think if things with labor don't change, personal corporations will be big. Mine isn't doing too bad. Wait, what? Personal corporations? What do you mean by that? I looked at the tape deck. It has fresh grease. It was well cared for. Nice. I grew up in the 80s, 90s. One thing I remembered was messed up stuff was way more accessible. The internet didn't really change that. It's kind of the result of cable. Messed up stuff, like, okay, you're going to have to be a little bit more specific on the kind of messed up stuff that was way more accessible. Because I have a distinctly different memory of the 80s and 90s. I'll get a desk-mounted camera. It is that. It's just the swivel. The swivel is kind of loose. So I need to actually, like, figure out a way to tighten it. I'm sure there is a way, but I just haven't done it yet. So now whenever I bang on my desk, it just slides on over. My personal LLC, it's my company. Oh, yeah, yeah. And I thought about that, too. It's just kind of like a satirical endpoint, the inevitable endpoint of where we're going to get to in our society from the explosion of gig economy workers is that, like, everyone's going to be an LLC. Everyone's going to be their own personal corporation. Because it's the only way you'll ever be able to get any sort of real rights. Absolutely, lol. Also, I would use said money to buy enough land that I'd be able to dig a giant pit, dig a giant pit in it, fill it with raw chicken, squirt as much baby oil in there as I could get. With baby oil, and open up a theme park called Uncle Johnny's Greasy Chicken Pit. Why baby oil though? So it has and why raw chicken? Wait, what's the deal here? Are you just trying to get as many people salmonella as possible? I thought for certain that you were going in a different way with that. 4chan could spend my money on weird shit, would probably make for some interesting Amazon Lives. Oh, jeez, I would not want to see an Amazon Live 4chan stream. God knows what they would be promoting on there. It would get shut down by the feds quick. It's a theme park. The theme's greasy chicken. I mean, that's not really greasy. It's oily. Oily chicken. Why baby oil? Why not olive oil? Or chicken grease. I remember pervs were everywhere compared to today. Lol. Nah, real. And battles and James was basically like kids' wine. I mean, I don't remember pervs being everywhere, but I guess I wasn't like actively searching for them as a child. I guess maybe I was lucky enough to avoid them, but I mean, if you have access to the internet, then you're in a much different minefield. I got preyed upon. Oh God. The local dentist was well known. I got touched. Oh Jesus fuck, man. I'm sorry about that. And I stood up laughing gas, stumbling out of the office, told my mom we were gone. Also the reason we aren't Catholic anymore. All right, well, I mean, Catholic, that's interesting. I don't know if that dentist was or not, but shit, I'm sorry to fucking hear that, man. I guess your experience in the 80s and 90s was a hell of a lot different than mine. Jesus. I hope that dentist lost his license and ended up in a prison. My mom had her stuff in the 50s. I grew up quick. I guess you'd kind of have to. We found out your niche, Def Fieri. 4chan, Amazon. Fuck no. Fuck no. Never. Never on that. That's a hard veto on that one.
Gone. We're now going to X. So, Linda,
and it has such a negative connotation in that regard.
That's
like, you think of an X, you don't. That's an X.
Yeah, it's negative. and if you start having X videos, lots of people have.
I didn't even think about the X as far as like, you know, ex boyfriend or ex girlfriend. I guess that is true. It's like, oh, it's an X. X Twitter. I didn't really expect the soccer mom looking news guest on CBS News to start dropping X video references. Damn, she just went fucking full bore. Like, I could do that. I'm just some bozo on Twitch. I could talk about X videos. You're on CBS News, lady. Ease up with the X videos references.
I mean, there's that. What came to mind for me was I thought of Malcolm X. Not a negative connotation, but it's
Malcolm X. What?
I feel like it fits. And interestingly enough, I noticed my phone has a.
Wait, did we really go from talking about X videos to Malcolm X?
It's not a negative connotation, but it's.
Having X videos, lots of people have already pointed out what the connotation
is. What came to mind for me was I thought of Malcolm X, not a negative.
Oh, Jesus. So I think she was just trying to change the conversation away from X videos. She was like, "Oh, this bitch is talking about X videos. What can I do? Malcolm X. Yes, let's talk about Malcolm X." Interesting.
But it just doesn't feel like it fits. And interestingly enough, I noticed my phone hasn't updated, so I still have Burn.
The app has been slower on mobile. If you go to the web browser, there it has all updated to an extent, but this is iterating. This is a company that's gone back to sort of running fast and every now and then breaking things.
Yeah.
And so there is that trust. They've got to now, some estimating.
I don't think that trust exists anymore because all those people that did that are gone. They all work at Threads now. And by the way, I really hate that Silicon Valley mentality of go fast, break things, because it rarely ever works out that well. She's bringing it up on there as an indirect. It's been a while, lol. Elon hears the name Malcolm X and rushes to rebrand X back into Twitter as fast as he can. You know, I get what you're getting at, but I kind of get the opposite. I think he hears Malcolm X and he's like, "Yes, I am just like Malcolm X. Malcolm X and myself share the same struggles."
That up to $20 billion of brand value has just evaporated by doing this.
Right.
How do they reinstill that user loyalty in you and I? How do they get the brands that actually advertise to come back and feel safe in this space? So I think you're going to hear a lot about brand safety going forward.
So let's turn to Mark Zuckerberg's Threads. I'm not on there, but
Oh, shame. We can
I know. There's so much to keep up with. There's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's like, okay. But I notice a lot of people have tried it. It seems significant, but then again, what are we looking at in terms of how it's doing the last week or two? Has it been 2 weeks yet?
I mean, beginning of July 7th, I think, is when it was first
it's been a little
unfolded.
over 2 weeks.
And basically, they fast-tracked it. This is an app, that, again, that's kind of in beta. They're practicing. They're making it up because they saw this moment of vulnerability.
She said beta. Remember, Devon propaganda on citizens has been legal since 2007. I think it's been legal way before 2007, man. Not from the shit I ever heard from Elon, and he's like, "I'ma own it." Yeah, that's exactly that's the thing. Like, and because like he would probably see Malcolm X as like being a cool character. Like, oh, Malcolm X, he is the cool character. He was an outlaw. Like, and that's kind of like what I am. I don't know why I'm doing that accent for Elon Musk, but I can't talk in the way that he does. I don't have that. I don't have that energy about me. I don't think. She defended me all day. My dad didn't get it. I grew up so fast. Nah, he retired because kids own a practice. He's still revered in the community. Oh, that's bullshit. Even though everyone knew. Look, I moved past that. I went to places. Well, I remember saying I don't look at myself like I'm collateral for my dumbass friends to bring 500 in back rent. Me and the guy are good friends now. Fair enough. The guy had to pay cashes too. See, I think Elon thinks he's the modern business Malcolm X. Well, I get that. My music name for years was XO for the brandy I always underage drank. XO. Don't give him any ideas on that, too. I'm not a criminal because every criminal I ever met wants to be me. Like, I feel gross talking bad about Elon because I know he's neurodivergent. Same, but he's too much for me, though. I mean, I don't feel bad. I mean, you could be neurodivergent and a huge piece of shit at the same time. And if your piece of shitness outsizes by a large quantity your neurodivergence, then you're free and fair game in my book. Yeah, you too, huh, Suki? You had to voice up on that one.
For what is now X. They went out and launched, and I think, yes, they got 100 million users in 5 days. Never seen records.
This is what I was referring to when we were talking earlier, Nocti. Like, Threads user engagement is down 70% since they launched, which is pretty massive. That's a pretty massive number considering the amount of people that jumped on board Threads when it launched. But I mean, it's because again they launched too early. And they didn't have enough stuff ready to roll out after. Like they just rolled out their following tab. But that should have been a part of their day one launch, honestly. And only shortly after that should they have rolled out, like within the next week, not 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. Within the next week they should have rolled out a trending tab or an ability to have a news feed of some sort, like the things that make it easy to build a community on their service. They still don't have those. So like right now, before the following tab, it was just your feed was just a really random hodgepodge of posts from people you may or may not follow, and now you get posts from people you follow at least, so that's a step in the right direction. But again, that should have been something that should have been available on day one. So now they're going to have to find a way to claw back that engagement. They never should have been in a position to lose it to begin with, but they sensed they smelled the blood in the water from Twitter and they prematurely launched. So now they're going to have to fight this perception. Like, it's still in a better position than like Blue Sky or something. But I want to get off of Twitter permanently ASAP. So I'm ready for Threads I actually am on Blue Sky too. I don't look at it as often because Blue Sky is like a gated community, so there's not a whole lot going on over there. But I'm ready for Threads to have all that stuff so I can kill my Twitter already. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. But I still use it because it's a great way to aggregate news. It's a news aggregator basically. And, that makes it cool for me to look stuff up and find videos and all that sort of thing. I fell into a One Piece rabbit hole earlier today. That's not something people value about my life, but, my dad grew up in a trailer with 8 other people, and Elon grew up in a slum emerald mine. He was slumming in the emerald mines, watching the pain and suffering that supported his life. He saw us as not human because that's what the rich fuck dads do to their kids. They got hardened making shoes in the Depression, saw their friends die. Jesus. Business is like its punishment for PTSD in the 1920s hasn't seemed to work very well. It's copy paste Twitter with less, but still true. I enjoy the lack of ads, but I do. The ads are gonna come though, but I do project it to go back up soon. But once it goes back up, it's gonna really, on that point, if it's gonna drop again or succeed. It's gonna rely on that point if it drops again or succeed. Because at least in my experience with working on social so much, they're usually always rolled out too early. That's true. They're always rolled out too early. But everybody wants Twitter dead, so this early rollout is more frustrating than other early rollouts. I have a Twitter. I used it once. Social media blows. You are not incorrect. You are not incorrect in that assessment, sir.
Now, that daily active user, yes, it's come back. That euphoria kind of dies down, but people are still growing, particularly users in Brazil, in India. Remember, it hasn't even launched in the EU because of some regulatory concerns there. So I think Mark Zuckerberg and Adam Mosseri, who is behind Threads app, are really trying to say, look, slowly this will come. We're still building features. We've still got to make sure that you can search on the app, that you can maybe do the equivalent of a Spaces, a video. There's loads that still isn't built yet.
Right. I'm just curious. I wish I was a fly in a room when they make these decisions. Because it's like, even the logo for Thread, it's kind of interesting, but it's like, what is that? I guess it's a needle
it's
thread.
Instagram, reminiscent?
Somewhat, yeah. So what do you think is the long-term prospects for Threads? Like, what do you see? What's in the future?
I feel like people think this could be a real money spinner. Ultimately, in the next couple of years, it could be raking in about $8 billion a year. Now, that's not actually much compared to the billions that Facebook and the parent company Meta ultimately makes per year, but still, it's enough. And I think this is the whole focus on artificial intelligence.
God damn, that dude looks weird. Every time I see him, I'm like, that's a weird motherfucker.
By these companies. And it's also a new way, potentially, they haven't turned on advertising, the way that they could make that. But I do think there's still iteration to be done on Threads. But as you just said, is there room in our life for yet another social media company? It'll be interesting how it interconnects with Mastodon and some of those what are called, well, ultimately distributed ways of communicating and be more interoperable on different servers and the like. So I think still people are hopeful on Threads because, look, a lot of people have been disenchanted. X is much more aligned with Elon Musk's own personal brand, I think,
when you gave that
Twitter
history on where it all starts, it totally makes sense. But I just think people have to get used to it, and I'm sure they will. Caroline Hyde, thank you.
All right. And I'm still wondering why it's called a pyramid scheme when it's businesses, and it's called trickle down when it's economics. Let's give 1% of the people 90% of the money. Let them hoard it like the old lady of their generation with a house full of stuff that rot. Pyramid scheme when it's businesses, and trickle down when it's economics. I'm not for certain what you mean by that. But I'm telling everyone because this is what I do professionally. Threads is still so small and so new. Now is the time to build your following, so you don't drown out with the growth of the app going forward. I agree. I've been. It's again like so. People have been bouncing back and forth between several different services, trying to figure out which one is going to be the one that is going to take over. And I think that Threads is probably going to be that app. I think that Blue Sky feels a little better, but because it's still a gated community, you just don't get like the feeds actually feel similar between Threads and Blue Sky, but you just don't get as much. Blue Sky kind of feels like the LinkedIn version. Like it feels more professional oriented. Like I got invited to a group of game developers, and then I started getting friend requests from a bunch of game developers, which is cool. I mean, it seems like it's a cool way to build communities too. But like for I guess my brand, I do focus on more than just game development, and it doesn't seem like I can have mechanisms with which to branch out organically in that space because it is like a country club almost. Like you got to know who you got to know in there. Threads is a little bit more open. I've made connections outside of just the people and journalists or whatever that I normally interact with. but they just don't have any other. They don't have any mechanism to expand on that organically, like absent a news feed that feeds you tweets from trending news items that allows you to comment on them with other people and connect with other people there and all that sort of stuff without trending tabs and whatnot. Makes it pretty hard to really expand out without going out of your way to do it. And I've mentioned many times before, I'm a terrible self-promoter, so I'm not the best person in the world at essentially cold calling random people online to market myself. Let me get over here. Now that I've ranted extensively about about Twitter/X and Elon Musk, let's get into the game, which should already be downloaded. Yes, I'm excited about this one. I hope it doesn't suck. Hope it doesn't suck, but it has overwhelming scores, so it should be good. I'm hoping it's good. I got audited for my taxes for the past 5 years. I have every receipt. They came down they came down and me said I owed them $500,000. Well, Jesus, I mean, that's the other side. That's the dark side of being your own business. Well, I showed them where the money went into my ancestral home. I like that you phrased it as ancestral home because as soon as you said into my ancestral home, I had a image of you like in a giant stone castle sitting on like a throne with like two ancient battle axes from the ancient war hanging over your throne as you lament the fall of your lineage, in your ancestral home. But I know what you're talking about. I get what you actually mean. The taxes that have tripled since 2017. Jesus, taxes only ever really seem to go one way for people that aren't billionaires. It really seems like the city taxing me out of my own home. Yes. Like Ty Pennington came here and remodeled my house. I can't afford it anymore, but I'm the guy who fixed and painted the house. I'm gonna go to bed. Sorry for ranting. Oh, don't ever apologize, man. I get what you're getting at, and in a lot of respects, yeah, the city is trying to tax you out of your house, depending on where you live. I mean, there's such a huge reliance on property taxes, anyways, that most people who own property are going to get stung by that in a pretty dramatic way, especially if you live in a state like Texas that doesn't have a state income tax, and as a result of a lack of state income tax, relies heavily on property taxes in order to make up the difference so that they can actually fund schools and rebuild roads and whatnot. And then people wonder why the property taxes cost so much. It's because we don't have a state income tax. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, I can understand how you feel like they're trying to kick you out of your house. If you're in a prime location, they probably are trying to get rid of you. It's a brick castle. I'm just dealing with maintenance of things they can tell me where it goes. I gotcha. I mean, I'm sorry that you're dealing with all that. That sucks, but, What? Who was that? Was that you, Suki? You're in bed. It couldn't have been you. I guess Galby's out there somewhere. They always want me to make the image barely visible, but I'm not going to do that because then that fucks with my ability to see shit. My issue with Threads as a community manager and social media marketing specialist is the lack of analytics. Yes, that's something that I never pay attention to, but I recognize that as someone that does what you do, that is crucially important, critically important. You look at analytics a hell of a lot more than I ever do. You don't have to go to bed, dude. I appreciate your contributions. I mean, if it's bedtime, it's bedtime. But yeah, no one's forcing you to do anything. I'm just jaded, hate this social situation. This house was 197K when my family came through. Now it's 497K in valuation. God damn. That's a big boost in value. But again, you know, your property taxes are based on the value of your house, so that's also a big boost in property taxes. They are. My dad and I are keeping it all alive. I work all day, come home to do this channel and 2 others, and freelancing editing, I'm barely keeping it alive. Also, haven't had a vacation since 2004. God damn, dude, I am really sorry to hear that. You should definitely try to find some way to weasel a vacation out of something. But I get where you're getting at. That's hard stuff, man. Because what I do is genuine connections while also a numbers game, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the part. You see, that's the part about. And you know, this is a whole other discussion that could spill over into another giant rant that I'm definitely not going to get into right now. But that's a whole other discussion about like being a quote unquote content creator, because that job description, as it were, is a relatively recent one. But I had to think about what it actually means as a content creator, because the actual act, the thing that you're doing as a content creator, isn't really anything new. It usually had the old, I guess the old definition would have been entertainer. You're an entertainer, you know, whether you were a stand-up comedian or a late night talk show host or, you know, a musician or whatever else. You were an entertainer, and entertainment was your art that you applied into business. So, like, why did content creator come about? What's the difference between a content creator and an entertainer? And from the best of my understanding, the difference between a content creator and an entertainer is that a content creator is an entertainer that tailors their work towards an algorithm and towards the analytics. And when you tailor your work towards the analytics, you're specifically driving towards getting your numbers to maximize your reach, to maximize your impact. You're tailoring your entertainment, whatever it may be, to those ends. Where as entertainer may just, you know, get up on stage and do some shit, and yeah, they'll work on their material, but they probably won't go so far as to like tailor their material towards whatever specific crowd they happen to be, you know, standing in front of that night. And I was just thinking about, like, is that really the difference? Is it really just playing to the algorithm versus playing to a group of people? Like, well, what is the algorithm if not some numerized computerized stand-in for the people that you would be playing to as an entertainer? Maybe there is no difference, but all of those different barriers that is placed between the entertainer and their audience just makes it feel cold. It makes it feel less personal. It makes it feel very capitalist, very corporate, like content creator. This the word content itself. Like when people are like, "Oh, we got some new content," you know, that doesn't say anything to me. Like I never really thought of like the music that I listened to growing up as content. You know, I would go to, you know, the CD store or whatever, buy a new CD. You know, back because I'm old, I have a gray beard. I know, I get how old I am that I'm talking about buying CDs. But that's what I did as a kid. Buy CD. Hell, I was even young enough. I was young enough back then. I would go and buy cassette tapes. You know, buy albums of bands that I listened to. Never considered that as, you know, just purchasing raw content. You know, like it's Soylent Green to be ingested. No, it was art. You know, oh, they came up with some new songs. These songs are great. I'm gonna listen to these songs and have a good time. And you know, if I like them, I'll listen to them more and more. They'll become the soundtrack of my youth without even thinking about those songs becoming the soundtrack of my youth, you know, but, you know, and that's what all of this is. Like, even me rambling here is just, you know, a form of entertainment. It's like speaking to an audience about some random dumb shit or playing a game or whatever. But distilling it all down into content just basically means that it's some shit that you can sell to someone. Content is just shit that you can sell to someone. Yeah, you can be talking about a Belle Biv DeVoe album as a work of art, as a piece of music, but if you work for, Universal Music, that Belle Biv DeVoe album is just content, and you're just putting that content on a shelf for someone to buy. Doesn't necessarily matter what it is or how good it is or et cetera, so long as it's content that you can reasonably market to the demographics of people that your old-timey spreadsheet, which was, the analytics of its day, your old-timey spreadsheet tells you, oh, this certain demographic of people in this certain region of the world are most likely to buy your CDs, so send a couple thousand to press and release them in that region. Release that content in that region, Content is a very cold, calculated, business-oriented view of entertainment. I've never liked it for that reason, because I never wanted to get into any of this from the business side of it. I think most entertainers don't. They reluctantly, or at least I guess maybe stand-up comedians, which, I spend a lot of time listening to, watching, and going to stand-up comedians, stand-up shows. I think most of them never really considered the business aspect of it when they first start off. Maybe if they pop off, it becomes inevitable, but, that's what managers are for. Managers and agents deal with that shit. And some content creators, when they get big enough, they get managers and agents. Sure. But, in order to get to that point, you have to be enough of one yourself nowadays to work the knobs to build up to that point, which a lot of us just don't have that in us. Maybe, I mean, technically, we might have the ability to do it, but we just don't have the drive, don't have the interest. And I guess maybe that's where I'm at. I've never had an interest in the content side of the content creator sphere. Like, I want to be entertained. I want to be entertaining. I want to have fun doing this. It's definitely like a, fun hobby. I think maybe I'm also afforded. I'm afforded a little bit of luxury in the sense that my 9-to-5 job provides pretty well for me, so I can look at this more as being a hobby rather than something that I absolutely must succeed at. So maybe that's just a little bit of privilege speaking on my end there. But I guess maybe for that reason I don't pay attention to analytics and don't feel compelled to. Although it is interesting. It's interesting to always see. Sometimes I check out my YouTube analytics and I'm always surprised at, where my views are coming from. I do it all: art, music, video. I'd say content creators should be the opposite. The best creators don't follow the trends. They buck the trends. I mean, again, they're entertainers, and to a degree, entertainers that don't follow trends or the ones that set trends are the ones that excel. I mean, it's no different than a stand-up comedian or a musician or anything like that. And it shouldn't be viewed any differently. That's why I always hate content creators, because, I mean, the word content creator, like the label content creator and the label of content, because that artificially makes them viewed differently than any going on. I've been doing the same since I was a kid, and people ignored me. It's okay, you learn more from failure than success. Content creators are everywhere. There's a group of gatekeepers that held that back in the old model. YouTube is responsible to the evolution of the internet and self-publishing. See that some Bill Burr mentality. Yeah, I love Bill Burr. He's one of my favorites. He never cared about the money, and he never cared about the money he lost. He just was a bulldozer. I mean, don't get it twisted. Bill Burr is a business magnate now. Like, maybe early on he probably had that mindset, but like he knows his shit right now, and he's running it. Like, he's got several organizations that he's running to a degree of impressive efficiency. I'm the content creator I want to be. Right now, my content isn't as good as what's cooking. I'm gonna fade, gotta sleep. To be real, God, I hate this thing blocking. To be real, I'm a producer. I produce production. Are you out? If you are, then take care. Thanks for stopping by, and I'm glad you shared a bit about yourself. And I hope you have a good night. I don't like the content creator because of the idea. No, I get you. I mean, it's just like, you know, it's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. It doesn't really matter all that much, to be honest. I mean, you do what you do. And if you have fun doing it, then have fun doing it. I'm out. Yeah, thanks, man. Hey, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it as always. You know, I like how I said... I should probably... Let me see if that's a better location for the camera there. I like how I said I didn't want to... I like how I said I didn't want to go on an extended rant, and the first thing I did was immediately go on an extended rant. Alright, we can skip that. It looks like that was like in the middle of the arc. You can now access the Steam store from the start menu. Okay, well, no point in doing that right now. Oh boy, Eula's right up top. A story of bonds to build memories. This writer's strike focused around AI is triggering my schizophrenia because my second psychotic break had elements of being trapped in an AI consciousness. Oh, damn. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. That sucks. What's that? I'm going to bed for real. Sorry for a long goodbye. Sorry, I'm a long goodbyer. Peace. Take it easy, man. No worries. So it looks like this story starts off... I don't even know. This must be something original. This must be original. An original story then. So I don't recall any of this happening in the anime.
Luffy, しっかり。怪獣に体を食いちぎられてなくてよかったの。
いや怖えよ。そんな想像してたのかよ。俺の帽子がね。
見つけた時にはなかったな。
参ったな。どこに行っちまったんだ。あ。サニー沈んでんじゃねえか。うわー、危ねえ。なんだ？この島どうなってんだよ。でっけえ氷が空から降ってきた。
変な氷だ。中でなんか光ってるみたいだぞ。
信じがたいけど雷が
It's
凍結
comical how stacked they made Robin
この島に
post 2-year jump.
昨日のおかしな嵐の時に降ってきた氷みてえだ。サニーも沈みかかってる。このままじゃ出航はできねえ。
ナミさんもいない。探さねえと。ナミさ
ソロとブルックもいないぞ。どうするんだルフィ。
よし、フランキーはサニー号の修理を頼む。その間に他のみんなでナミたちを探しに行こう。ナミ、ソロ、ブルック。
Mysterious Island. Alright, well. Is this playtime?
Oi! ブルック！
ソロナミブルック。
ナミさん。
I mean, you're all standing in the same area, just yelling. You're gonna need to like move around. The episode objectives are displayed at the top right. They can also be viewed in the main menu. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Characters with the map icon give adventure hints. Those with the red icons give hints to the main. Okay, I see.
どこだ？ナミ、ソロ、ブルック。
Oh,
俺の帽子。
I'm noticing now that my camera is right. I don't know if there's gonna be a good spot for me to put this damn thing. Well, it's over the mini-map now. I guess I'll just move it up to the corner. Shrink it a bit.
"いなくなっちまった奴らが心配だ。早いとこ見つけて合流しねえとな。
But you know what's not crazy? I have limited my footprint on the internet into unusable fragments, mostly to not become AI. I don't think you have to worry about that, man. I don't think that's a thing that's you're ever really in danger of.
俺も一緒に行くぜ、ルフィ。
Frankie joined the party.
この辺りには見当たらねえな。他の奴らのところに行ってみるか、ルフィ。
よし。よし、行こう。
Doesn't look like I'd eat any of it. Okay, interesting observation. That cool ice just suddenly disappeared. I wonder if any more will fall. What's that light? Where did it come from? I see a big, cool shaped pillar. We should climb up it when everyone's here. Square clam? No, it's not food. Doesn't look good anyways. Let's see what Usopp has to say.
ナミたちいたか？
いや、この辺りには見当たらねえ。
みんなどこ行っちまったんだ？
ここは岩が崩れちまってる。
The boulders collapse here. We can't go forward.
あいつらも島の奥には行ってねえはずだが。
おいウソップ、これサニーの怒りじゃねえか？
ああ、着水の衝撃で飛ばされてきたみてえだな。サニーに戻してやんねえと。なんだ今の。
行ってみよう。
おい待てよルフィ。しょうがねえ、俺もついて行ってやる。
Usopp joined the party.
しかしよ、今のは一体何が吠えてたんだ？
みんな合流したらそいつを探しに島を探検だ。
いや待ってルフィ、おい。
ナミスワ
サンジいたか？ナミたち。
この辺りには見当たらねえ。無事でいてくれよナミさん。すぐに助けに行くからな。
Gathering the whole crew. I don't know. I mean, we didn't go that far apart from one another, so. That lumpy boulder, is that lightning flashing on it? I sense platforming.
この辺りには流れ着いていないようね。みんな全身バラバラに砕け散っていないといいけど。雷雲のない空から落雷、考えられない現象ね。でも今はみんなを探すことが先決ね。行き。
Alright, and Chopper. I guess I'm going in this cave.
この辺かすかにナミの匂いがするぞ。
本当かチョッパー？
ナミの匂いはこの洞窟に続いてる。
俺たちより先に流れ着いてたのか。
How is Frankie gonna get in
ナ
there?
ミさん、今行くからね。
よし行くぞ。
Is this a save point thing? It's an elaborate carving. Yep. What? Level 40? What the fuck? I'm starting off at level 40? Or are we all starting off at... I mean, I guess this is after the 2-year jump, but, interesting. Uses his fist, uses his gun, uses a gun, uses his fist. Okay, what am I looking at here for, like... Wait, what? King Kong Garden.
ルフィ助けよう。
Right. Use LT to aim and RT to use Gum Gum Rocket to travel to distant areas. You might even be able to progress through areas that appear to be dead ends with the help of Gum Gum Rocket. Take a look around to see any. Okay.
よし行くぞ。
Okay. Interesting. Pick it up with B. It looks like the relic I saw in the upper yard, but has some different characteristics. Upper yard? You mean the Sky Island? What's the relic of the Sky Island doing down here? It was that Jaya relic that I saw on the Sky Island. It belonged to the Great Blue Sea. This means that there were people involved with both Jaya and Sky Island here. Wow, now we get into combat. Now let's see how combat is handled in this.
なんだ。
さっさと追っ払ってナミさんを助けに行くぞ。
覚悟しろよ。
About battle commands. Battle hands. Earlier, a crew could be placed in the same area as enemies or different ones. Oh, okay, I see, I see. Attack, and then I'm gonna attack this guy. Consume TP to use powerful skills. Some TP will be restored when attacking enemies and when battle begins. The TP you build up in battle will carry over to the next battle. Okay, fair enough. The meter around the enemy icon indicates their action order. When all are lit, that enemy will go next. So we are all like overpowered. Well, maybe not Usopp. Well, that wasn't bad. We are all very overpowered for these dudes.
ディナーの
おお、サンジ、飯。
なんで急に襲いかかってきやがったんだ。
俺たちは別に何もしてねえぞ。
This game stops you too much early on. Like, I take 2 steps forward and then, like, it's taking me to a cutscene.
まだ来る。よっぽど俺たちのことが気に入らねえみてえだな。
ゴムゴムのガトリング。よし。
Well, slightly OP. But I'm guessing that'll change later on.
あいつら海賊出て行けって言ってた。
嫌われたもんだな。
さあな。今はナミさんを助けるのが先だ。
そうだな。行くぞ。
All
チョッパー、こいつも
いや、腹減ったって言ってるぞ。
敵意はなさそうね。
Doesn't seem hostile. No, it seems drunk.
なんだ、それなら道を開けてもらう。
待ってウソップ、
どうしたチョッパ
敵意はないけど食欲はあるみたいだ。
ー。え、
ウソップ
Usopp is paralyzed.
ウソップが食べられんち。
ウソップ、待ってろ、今行く。
Enemy grouped up. What? What did that say? Enemy grouped up. Liberate Usopp's area before Usopp is knocked out.
うちのクルーに何してくれてんだ。
About dramatic scenes. Okay, tell me about dramatic scenes. Dramatic scenes activate under specific conditions. During dramatic scenes, enemy attack or damage dealt to enemies might increase. When there are no enemies in your area, you can attack an enemy in a different area to move to that area. Okay, so... it's kind of hard to tell. I guess I have no choice but to fight that guy. Oh shit. I like that look on his face. He had a smirk. He can move. Okay, where can he move to?
次はドイツだ。
Oh, they're really going after
治療
Usopp.
なら俺に任せろ。
Oh, he's almost gone.
お前らぶっ飛ばしてやる。
Can he do his Gatling?
ゴムゴムのガトリング。
Oh, that took care of one of them. Oh shit, these motherfuckers don't fuck around. Heal. Oh, he does like a group heal?
これでみんな治せる。
I'll take a group heal,
うち
sure.
のクルーに何してくれてんだ。待ってろ。なめんじゃねえ。一人残らず下ろしてやる。かかってこい。
What skill does he have? Party table?
パーティーテーブルキックコー
ス。死ぬかと思ったぜ。
ウソップ、怪我してないか。痛いとこあったら俺に言えよな。
Nice. Alright, that was interesting. Haunted Taco on YouTube? Haunted what? What does it say? One Piece Sona? I don't know what you mean by One Piece Sona. I also don't know what you mean by being on YouTube instead of on Twitch. We have a reverse. We've got a reverse Haunted situation going on, where Haunted Wisp is on Twitch and Haunted Taco is on YouTube. What the hell?
こっちで合ってんのか？
How's your night treating you?
ナミの匂いがしてる。間違い。うん。ナミの匂いがしてる。間違いない。
ここを登るのか？
That's part of the vast right-wing conspiracy.
ナミさんはこの先だ。行くぞ。
Where the heck is she?
まだつかねえのか。
ほら、いいから走りやがれ。ナミさん、今あなたのナイトが行くからね。
近いぞ、もうすぐだ。
すぐに助けるからね、ナミさん。
Save this for later? Save what for later? Oh, wait, so is this like... I guess I'm supposed to loop around.
見えてきたわ。
私を食べても美味しくないわよ。ナミがいたぞ、ルフィ。
I don't know, well, I was scrolling through YouTube and clicked in. It's going alright. Haunted Wisp and I are actually part of a CIA black site. Oh boy.
ナミさんに手出しやがって。
I've got moles. Moles in my community.
なんだまたかよ。
どけ猿。
あら、こっちにも。
挟み撃ちか。
どかねえならぶっ飛ばしていくぞ。
コックに逆らうとどうなるか教えてやる。
Type effect of this. Normal attacks have the power, speed, technique types. They're each more or less effective in different situations. All are affect the damage you deal. So it's basically a rock paper scissors setup here. It looks like. The effectiveness display the enemy icon. Okay, so I guess it's the color of the little thing around their icon. You can check the... Oh, it's the arrows. It's the up and down arrows. Fair enough. You could swap your battle crew by pressing Y. Swap to a crew member that is effective against enemy types. Well, so much for that. Who can I swap with? I don't know what they meant by swap with a crew member then. I guess I can't swap. Huh. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I gotta select two of them. There we go. Damn, wrecked that dude. I didn't really do much to her. No, don't worry, we're off schedule. Nobody likes work off schedule. Well, I agree with that for certain.
ちょっと痛い。
Why does she have such boss defense? I guess that didn't matter much that they were weak to that or not.
おい腹減ったぞサンジ。
ああ、ちょっと待ってろ。うまいもん作っ。
調子がいいぞ。
Really? He leveled up off of that?
いい調子だ。
成長を実感できるほど。
みんなの役に
How are y'all level? These are barely challenges.
ナミさん。おうルフィ、みんなも一緒か。
ああ、あとはブルックだけだ。
迷子のマリモが帰ってきやがった。誰が迷子だ。おめえだよ、クソマリモ。
喧嘩しとる場合か。
クソゴリラ、今すぐナミさんから離れやれ。
His name is Del Kong. I like that.
ナミの回復が優先よ。
ありがとう。助かるわ。
おいお前。
Without using items. Okay, well. What?
ナミさん、これ受け取って。
Increase defense and guts.
俺が。
When your crew turn to act, you can select who will act first with... I tried to do that the last battle. So I guess this is just choosing initiative. Oh, he already went. That's why. Oh my god, there's so many fucking pop-ups and tutorials on this thing. Start with enemies with full meters. Select crew with effective types. Okay, yeah. Let's see, what can she do? It barely did anything, like... Wait, she's going again?
セカンドゴムゴムのジェットバズーカ。
オチエンタフルールクロトワマード。
Damn, Robin is like low-key OP in this. I mean, everybody is, but her in particular. I mean, he's already unconscious. Isn't that like... Doesn't that mean we won? Do we really need to beat the shit out of him? He's unconscious. It's like, no. We must murder this gorilla. $299 berries, not bad. Just beating the shit out of an unconscious gorilla.
ありがとう。助かったわ。
ナミ。よし、ナミもゾロも見つかった。あと
マリモのやつには負けねえ。
ここまで腕が上がる。
ようやくか。
ナミさん。無事でよかった。迎えに来たよ。
おう、ご苦労。
お前じゃねえよ、クソ剣士。
Battle speed function, okay.
すげえな。ガラクタが山積みだぞ。あいつが溜め込んだのか。
これは
どうしたフランキー。
高度もサイズも申し分ねえな。こいつは船の修理にちょうどいい。
Summon your inner ASPCA. Frankie bought the material. I wasn't paying attention to read that. Suppose there's wood. Yeah.
さすがロビンちゃんだ。探してみるか。水や食料も確保しないとな。
聞いた通りよ。この島を探りに行きましょう。
どこにもねえな。俺の帽子どこ行っちまったんだ。
おい、待てよルフィ。
迷子になっても知らねえぞ。
お前が言うな。まだ見つかってないのはブルックか。あいつどこにいるんだ。
よ皆さん、私はここですよ。
お、どうしたんだブルック。
サニー号が海面に叩きつけられた衝撃で肉体と魂が分離してしまいまして、肉体だけ海の底に沈んでしまったようなのです。で、私骸骨だから肉ないんですけどよ。
この辺りの潮から見てかなりの水深がありそうね。海の底じゃサニー号とシャークサブマージ3号が治らないとどうにもならないわ。
サニーが治ったらすぐに探しに行くからな。
よ恐れ入ります。
まさかあれが海賊？
No, no, they aren't.
こうしてルフィたちは謎の島の冒険を開始する。
Oh, hey, Suki.
事の起こりはその前日、ルフィたちの乗るサウザンドサニー号は謎の島へ向かい順調に航海を進めていた。
What's up, lady?
見ろよ、あの島。低系統がいっぱい立ってる。空に伸びてるあの光はなんだ？よし、面白そうだ。行ってみよう。
ちょっと待ってルフィ。変な形の積乱雲がすごい速度で増えてる。
Oh boy, I guess now the game is starting.
こいつはノックアップストリームだ。
Wait, this was the intro.
あの男は島に着い間もなく急がせる必要があるだ。
Why are we watching this over again?
ニコ・ロビンがいるの。
Soup ball, what's up? You want to say hi? Is that what's up? You want to say hi to people?
そうだルフィ、思い出した。あんたの帽子、女の子が持ってるのを見たのよ。
Oh, it's lagging. There you go. You can say hi to everyone. Oh, okay, okay. You want to scream? I was giving you your screen time. Oh, there's your sister. There's your sister. Oh, she ran. I don't know why my camera is lagging so much. It must be the game. The game must be a drag on my system resources, which is weird because it doesn't really seem like it's a graphically intensive game.
Nami? 島に流れ着いてすぐこの浜よ。でもその後すぐにあのゴリラに捕まっちゃったから、女の子がどこに行ったのかわからなくて。
じゃあ島にはあるんだな。ありがとう。よし。
Find the straw hat. I'm guessing this game was made for consoles, so it probably doesn't have elaborate PC settings that you can mess with.
この岩、飛んできたサニーの怒りで崩れたみたいだな。
岩の隙間から風が吹いてる。
この岩、切るか。
ここから島の奥に行けそう。
よし、帽子を持っていっ。
出発進行。
ああ、行くぞお前ら。
Okay. Damn, like literally every 5 feet they're stopping me for a cutscene.
点在する遺跡の塔、その構造と配置。私の記憶に間違いがなければ、光の道が天へと続く伝説の島、ワフルド。
ワフルド？
ええ、ワフルドには大いなる宝があると言われているわ。
大いなる宝？どういうことだ、ロビンちゃん。 そうなのが出てきたな。
Alright, is this actually going to be a tough battle? Doesn't seem like it.
Thunderbolt!
俺に任せろ。マナーがなってねえな。
オチエンタフルールクロトワマードショック
That doesn't look good. I mean, it still didn't do that much damage to us. Oh, that didn't do anything. I guess it's because it's a fire-based attack that this guy's all fire. Violent Fire King. Oh, she's burned. So many attacks will inflict status ailments like bleed or faint. These put you at a disadvantage in battle by damaging every turn. Okay, fair enough. A bit too easy still. And we're like leveling up to. Why is this game like?
燃料もねえようだしな。
最後は炎の攻撃も弱まってた
おい、それ俺の帽子。
なんだ、体からなんか出てきたぞ。
Oh, that never looks like a good thing. Is that gonna make us weak? Is it the old Alucard?
何が起こってんだよ。
The old Alucard. Yep, the old Alucard.
みんな下がってろ。ゴムゴムの。あれ、どうやんだ。
あんたたち何やってん。
おかしいわね。私も能力が使えない。違うわね。使い方を思い出せない。
The Straw Hat's pirate strength was stolen. Well, that explains why it was so easy up top. Haha, 15.
This is 気を抜けなそうな相手ね。任せて。行くわよ。
任せて。こんな。
下がれ。そいつはお前ら全員を殺すまで攻撃をやめねえ。元気がいいのは結構だが、敵と味方を見極める冷静さは持ってねえとな。あの石像には行動範囲がある。そこまで逃げれば大丈夫だ。ついてこい。
I'm out, Dev. Enjoy your stream. Hey, thank you for stopping in. Have a good night. Are you about to start your stream?
ついてこい。
I may see you in there in a second. Follow the mysterious man.
あの炎の巨像、あいつは何なの？
あいつはこの島の守り神だ。
それってやっぱり宝を守って。
それより飯だ。腹減った。
ごちそうしてやってもいいぜ。
本当か？
大したもんはねえがな。
I thought this game started off mysteriously OP. I should have suspected the old Alucard.
ここは俺の小屋だ。好きなだけ休んでいくがいい。
まあそいつはありがてえけど。
信用できないか。俺の名はアディオ。職業は探検家といったところでな。
Jamming out some Korean jams? What Korean jams? What are you listening to over there?
お前たちも遭遇した嵐のせいで乗っていた船が沈没し、この島に漂着した。何気に居ついちまってさ、そのままリムと暮らしている。
リム？誰だ？
そいつだ。
なあ、お前さっきのやつ。
あなたが触れた後に私たち。
ええ、私のせいよ。でもあなたたち海賊でしょ。海賊なのは認めるけど、
この島は不思議な嵐に囲まれていて、普通は島に船はすべて海の
嵐を乗り越えてくるのは海賊が多くて、弱い者にも。
なんだよ、俺たちはそんなことしねえぞ。
だから私は力を使うの。手で触れた相手の技や能力をキューブ。
どういう仕組みだ？
これは私の一族の血筋によるものだって。
つまりあなたはその力で危険な海賊から。
そうよ。他にもキューブの情報をもとにして人や動物をキューブの持ち主の記憶の中の世界に
すげえな。お前も悪魔の実の能力者なのか？
悪魔の
実？知らないということはお前の能力は別のものみたいだな。
それで失われた能力を。
大丈夫。飛び散ったキューブを見つけ。
そうか。じゃあさ、
それしかなさそうね。
よし、そのそう。
あなたが？
さっきも話したが、リムとはこの血のつながりがあるわけじゃない
I
が。
like how he has like tattoos from the early 2000s.
俺も手伝わせてもらう。
He's got like Godsmack tattoos on his
新世
arms.
界のご多分に漏れず、この島も特殊な性質を持って、外の世界の常識が通用しないことも多い。手始めにそのあたりのノウハウをあまり危険のない洞窟で学んでみたらどうだ。
I know it's a foreign language where she sounds really flat. I think that's by design. Just character trait. Kim Won Soon? I mean, what type of music is that? Is it like K-pop or
運が良ければキューブも見つかるだろう。
crooner music, old man music? I guess I could look it up later.
まあ、それなりに準備をしていけば、そこいらの人間でも帰ってこられる危険度だな。
本当か？騙してんならただじゃおかねえぞ。
安心しろ。そんなつもりはないさ。さあ、まずは。そうだ、飯を食わせてやる約束だったな。遠慮せず上がってこい。
Piro's smiling at us. It's pop. Okay. But not K-pop. Interesting. Pop, but not K-pop from Korea. Korean pop that's not K-pop.
さあ、飯だ。
Don't look it up. Way too catchy. Well, that just makes me want to look it up even more. I mean, obviously I can't do that on stream, but maybe after. Will become dancing stream. It'll become a DMCH stream is what it'll become.
この肉全部食っていいか？
いいぞ、約束だからな。
本当に一人で全部食ったのかよ。
すげえな。
Are you a friend of Wisp? We just have a lot of haunted entities in this community is all. And I am the haunted of YouTube, yes. I'm usually over here. Yes, this is where I'm used to. I'm used to seeing Haunted Taco over here. It's good, you know, it's actually good that you moved over to Twitch right now, because I'm about to end my stream, but I think I'm going to... Wait, what? Why? What's going on? Why? Oh, I was pressing the wrong button. Yeah, I'm about to end my stream, but I'm about to raid, I'm about to raid Noctiety. So it'd be cool to for you guys to go over there and support her stream. Do I gotta go meet that dude then? Yeah, he's right there waiting for me. I like how there's just a cheeseburger. It's like a basket full of like breads and pastries, and then just a fucking cheeseburger. But I am the most satanic of these haunted because I almost play footbase with the Ouija board. Yeah, I don't mess around with Ouija boards. If you want to mess around with Ouija boards, that's you're toying with forces by your own risk. Maybe you're the reason why my community has become so haunted. We honorarily W as Haunted Video. The haunted group grows. Oh boy. Man, they really make you work for closing that game out, huh? Alright, let's see if my camera returned to normal. Maybe it did. Nope, I'm still all choppy. I probably need to reset. I think I'll probably need to reset my, I'll probably have to reset my computer in order for it to... No, it kind of caught back up. I guess it was the game. I guess it was still a little jumpy, but I guess it was the game that was borking me a little bit. Oh man, 2 hours 30 minutes, not bad. Not a bad stream. I think I ranted more than I played the game, but you know, it was a lot of interesting stuff to talk about up top, I guess. But I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go grab myself a snack. But I'm also gonna hang out in Octiady's stream while she, oh god, that she's playing that game that has that song stuck in my head. So this song's probably gonna get stuck in my head again. I'm excited. This is my first raid. Welcome to Twitch, Haunted Wisp. Yes, for sure. All right, thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate it as always. Let's see. This might be my second raid. Let me see if I can do this. All right, let's head on over there. All right, we are jumping in.